Hey guys, what is up? It is your boy Omega SMG coming at you with a new video. This one is like a mixing tutorial sort. So as you can see, I got this beat that I have already made a video on. You can check that out in the card in the upper right hand corner. And I didn't really do much mixing on it. However, mixing isn't always necessary. However, mixing will normally take a song that is already good and make it great by making everything pop out. It's like it just makes it so that everything you have crammed into that beat sounds good. So I'm gonna start going over some of the tricks I use. So as you can see, I have a lot of stuff labeled effects in here, which the reason I have it labeled like that is because it's what I use to get the sound that I wanted. Like, for example, if we were to just get rid of everything, like get rid of the effects, then it is a completely different sound like this. Oh, I have stuff on the master, of course. Like, this is just what I have for actual mix. And then when I throw on all of the effects I have on it, like the actual effects, I'm going to keep. It's completely different. So, like, I don't even consider stuff like decimort and all that distortion. Like, I don't even consider it mixing because, like, it's just getting the sound you want in the first place. Like, distortion on your 808. But, anyways, so I didn't do much with this piano. In fact, I should probably toss this one on a separate mixer. Or, like, what I'm gonna do is I just realized that this is gonna clash with my automation a lot, so I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna take all of this stuff and I'm gonna delete it, because instead of having it be on this automation, it's on the mix level. So if I were to have it all on the same thing, then it would end up clashing with automation and everything, and I don't want that. I just want this stuff. So I have a cut at the 500 hertz range, really low Q. This is, well, higher Q, I should say. But this is really just to get rid of the mud in my piano sound. I already got rid of a lot of the thud in the bass. And then I have a raise after 1000 hertz, then steep rise at 8000, then a bit of a cut at 18,000 range. That's just to get rid of some of that sizzle that comes along with a piano. And very small difference, but I'll play it with and without the EQ. Like, the EQ makes it sound richer, like, has more depth to it. This can be used to great effect, especially if you make it, like, parallel. Then you add the reverb on, which, by the way, I didn't do anything to the reverb. Micro shift is still on there. Love micro shift for reverb. But, and it's completely different sound. One second. I'm going to go into a very active area of the song, just so that, like, you guys can get a good grip on what all I'm doing in context of the song. So with mixing, you always want to do it in context of the song. If you make any changes when it's soloed, it could sound absolutely amazing, but, like, for example, like if I were to add a bunch of bass to my piano right here, then it would be clashing with the 808 and my Moog bass. And speaking of the Moog bass, let's go over mixing on it. So this is an EQ. Again, I have a compressor on it, but that's really just to make it more consistent. I cut out a lot of the high end. I did a dip at the 700 range with like a Q of 2. Then I have a boost in the low end. That's just to give it some more grit. So I'll go through and show what everything does. I'll power all of this off. I'll just go through and show you guys what it does. So I'll make sure I do it solo so you guys get like the most effect out of it. Like I said, it's nothing big, but it adds like a specialness to the sound. And you know, I got my compressor on it just to make it sound more consistent. Then I got more stuff, which this is just this is just something to make this sound punchier every once in a while for when it solos. But so I'm gonna go over my 808 because I have a lot of interesting stuff going on the mixing of the 808. So got my normal stuff. So after this is the last effect plugin to get that sound I want, and after that it's all mixing. So I did a boost to the mids. I'm gonna start breaking this down. So this is what it sounds with just dry, which technically isn't dry, but you guys get what I mean. Has a lot of grit to it. Then add that mid boost. It adds like some more grit to it. Then I have this EQ that is mostly subtractive, but pretty much cut everything out below 30 hertz. Have a boost in between the 30 and 100 range. Very light boost, but it's still significant. Cut out some of that high end, and then cut out the 250 hertz range to make room for the kick. And this is what it sounds like. And then patcher, this is where stuff gets really interesting. So I have two EQs here. Oh wait, dang it. Patcher runs in. Okay, but this one, it cuts out the high end. And then, so it's just the bass. FL Studio is really glitchy sometimes. Well, at least with recording. So this cuts out the low end, then this cuts out, this cuts out the high end, this cuts out the low end. So then I run it through a compressor. And this one is like, all it is just something to give me some more boost. It's a ratio of 4:1, fast attack, fast release, fairly high threshold, because that's just how high it gets. And like that's what it is. See, FL Studio is a pain to record with, but then I end up then this is what it sounds like after the patcher. It ends up having some more sub, a bit more grit. Well, takes some attention away from the high end. And then I was talking about the kick earlier. This is the EQ I have on the kick, which is it looks a bit crazy. So for one, I have a really hardcore boost on the high end, then tiny boost in like that 500 to 700 range, then a large dip at the 250 range. Yeah, I just realized I cut out the 250 range not to make room for the kick, but just because I didn't like that range a lot. If I'm being 100% honest. Then I boosted down here and cut out below 30 hertz. It was like normal. And then this is what the drums sound like. Where is, I think it's pattern 6. And so this is with the EQ, and this is without the EQ. The EQ brings out that Decimort flavor, the flavor that Decimort's bringing, it does a lot. And then let's go and talk about the EQ I got on my snare, because I already have a compressor on it earlier on. But so I have a boost at the low end so that the snare can have some more punch. I ended up doing like yeah, so I did this just so that it wouldn't go past this point and it would be like a slope, but then I boost that high end to bring some more presence in it, and then every once in a while it goes to the reverb. What is on this track? Oh, these are my strings. I remember this. Actually, it doesn't, but I'll go over my string mixing. So I cut out that low end, do a dip at 375, and then I boost the 1000 range a tiny bit. This is with it, and this is without it. It makes a lot more room for other stuff, and it sounds a bit more like a whistle. What's on track 11? Okay, my hi-hats. So these are where you see the most difference. So I cut out a lot of the low end. Anything below, like, it just cuts out anything under 200, but it starts at 1300. But this is what it sounds like with the EQ. Oh, I also have a dip at 8000 right here, and I bump it up at 10K. This is what it sounds like. And then this is without it. They're practically different sounds. Like, it makes that big of a difference for the feel of the song. Like, I kind of want to consider that effects. And now, I'll go over something I did for mastering. I'm probably going to get some crap for this one in the comments, but I threw on iZotope vinyl and turned up that wear a bit, just because iZotope vinyl, it's magic. Like, I can pop this on anything and it'll end up sounding exactly how I was hearing in my head. Genuinely magic plugin. It's a free plugin. Go download it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. But yeah, now I'm gonna play it with all of my mixing stuff on and without all my mixing stuff on. So here you go.